All right, welcome everybody to this week's Sandpile. This week we're going to say it's getting started with Business Catalyst, maybe. And I say maybe because it depends on who shows up, really. Now, there are some names I don't recognize there, but for the most part, I see the usual suspects. So maybe we're all just a little bit too advanced for getting started with Business Catalyst. But we'll see. We'll take a vote. So first off, looking at the news in the community, I looked across my documents where that stuff is recorded, and I've got nothing new from the BC App Store, nothing new from Academy, although I think Joe might have something, maybe, and nothing new from BC Gurus. So if you don't mind, Joe, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor there, and you can give us your new announcement.
Thank you very much, Dave. Yeah, we're really excited. Just today, we've launched a new version, version 2.0 of our Backups app. Previously, it was Backups, and our #1 feature request, ever since we launched back in 2013, has been automatic backups. And so a couple of years ago, we set out to make that a reality. And today, it is a reality. We've launched automatic backups. So instead of, if anyone has used the current app, Backups, the original app, you could log into your website and then you could manually make a backup. You would just choose what to back up and back it up. But it all ran client side, so it would use JavaScript and run through the script and slow your browser down, and it would get the job done, but it wasn't ideal. We always wanted to improve it and make it server side and automatic, which is what we've done. So you can now schedule how frequently you want to run your backups, daily, weekly, or twice a month, and choose what you want to back up, and you can back it up. You can choose where you want to back it up, to your website or to cloud storage, your own Dropbox or Google Drive. And so you can use those existing accounts and it will back it up automatically for you. So that's a big accomplishment for us. And that's one piece of it. And this time around, we wanted to not just make it a nice to have app that you can use to back up your client's websites. I mean, it makes sense to do that. But we also designed it in a way that allows you to monetize it. So in the same way that with Business Catalyst hosting, you can resell the hosting to your clients. We set up automatic backups so that you can resell that to your clients, and it represents what could be a substantial revenue stream of passive income for your business. So we want to make it easy for partners to be able to sell this to your clients, because if you think about it, you know, if you want to sell backups to your client, it introduces questions that you might not have thought about, such as why do we need to back up our website? Is my website already backed up? Aren't the website servers safe and secure? So we put together an entire marketing sales kit and made it available for free on our website. So you can go there and it has an email campaign and a landing page, system announcement, system messages, proposal language, all of the stuff we thought through so that you, the partners, can spend less than an hour and have a complete marketing campaign that you can send out to your clients and hopefully drive sales to for automatic backups. And that's good for us, of course, but we want it to be good for you. So you can change the price and charge your clients whatever you'd like. And so that's how we set it up. We want everyone to benefit from having automatic backups, not just the peace of mind, but also passive income would be nice to have for your business. So anyway, so with that, check it out at the App Store. We have 3 different versions. We wanted to price it in different ways depending on your business. There's a light version, which just backs up files, but we wanted to put it at a price point that everybody could get. And if your clients see it and use it and like it, then there's a little upgrade button so they can notify you that they want to upgrade to a higher priced tier, back up more of their website. And there's also a per site. So I have less than 20 clients on my partner portal, and so the per site would probably make better sense for me. I could sell to a handful of clients that really have a lot of data that they want to back up. But for partners who have a lot of websites, more than 10 or 20, some partners have 100 or more websites. So we have an unlimited version. So they just pay a subscription fee, a monthly subscription fee, and they can install it on as many websites as they want to. So that's the big announcement, and I encourage everyone to check it out and try and generate some passive income for your business while backing up your clients' websites. And thanks for letting me pitch, Dave. I appreciate it.
Nice. Well, you're most welcome, Joe. I personally think the backup app is worthy of presenting in front of the group like this. We don't always let folks pitch like that, but this particular app I think is so important.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Okay. Anybody can hit me up. If you have any questions at joe@backupbc.com. And I'd love to visit with you and answer any questions. And thanks very much for the opportunity, Dave.
Nice. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, feel free, everyone, to turn your cameras on if you like. I'm going to share my screen for a little bit. I was going to ask and see if we should maybe do any kind of information about getting started with Business Catalyst. And now I'm thinking maybe because we get so many people watch the recording, even though we have X many people show up to the live Sandpile, we do get a fair number of people watching the recording. So I don't want to not cover it in case there are some new folks and they come across the recording, and I'd hate for them to miss out on those resources. So I am going to just go through it fairly quickly. If while I'm doing that, you have a resource that I don't cover at the end, just let me know and I'll make sure that gets covered as well. And I'll thank you for that. So just give me a second to get my screen set up. And thanks, Pam. Thanks for letting me know. And Gracie as well. So I guess there is some value there. So I'm just going to go through the list of resources that are available, and a lot of it tracks with my experience or how I learned Business Catalyst originally, which frankly was 2011 was when I started. And these are just a lot of the resources that I found to be valuable. So we'll start off with BC Gurus, this Zero to Hero program. So you do need to sign up. There's no charge for this. And we could have some conversations around the age of the material. Some of it might appear to be a little bit dated, although it has been updated. But virtually all the courses here are still relevant. And it gives you a really good foundation for free, other than the time you spend going through it, of how to work with Business Catalyst. So I think that's a great place to get started. Don't worry about copying down URLs or anything. I will provide a sheet with the links in it and attach that to the resources in the Sandpile when I set the recording there. Outside of that, then you would continue on perhaps to a BC Gurus premium membership. I know I did. I started out as a pro, and then when Unlimited came available, I actually went to Unlimited, and I've made great use of the tutorials and the templates. But there's everything from Plus, which gives you access to the tutorials, to Pro, which gives you the tutorials and some templates, and Unlimited, which gives you access to everything. So a great extension from the Zero to Hero program. And these templates and tutorials are being added to on a regular basis, so that builds as we go. And here's just a link with some of the tutorials. So it's bcgurus.com/templates or /tutorials is the way to get to them. Okay, and I'm just reading the notes there, and Joe's just replying to Jack. Okay. The next item that I found really valuable was BC Academy, and you can join as a pro student, $59 a month. And the way I look at it now, BC Gurus is kind of a beginning to intermediate level tutorials, and BC Academy is intermediate to pro level tutorials. That's the way we're kind of segregating things. And as I look at the tutorials, you can access as a free student, and that gives you access to some of the library. And a pro student, of course, has access to all of it. There are some great tutorials in here, broken down by BC modules or even by functionality. And I believe these are getting released at a level of 1 a week here. So currently anyway. Now, in addition to that, there's the BC Academy course. So this is a recorded course, but I went through this myself. There's a developer level course, and you basically go step by step, and you build an actual real in the business catalyst environment, and you build a site from start to finish, and you learn some of the BC Academy best practices. I mean, you can read that there. So this is a recording of the I did the live session where we actually worked one-on-one with Mike Selander. Actually, there was a class of about 8 or 10 of us, and this is a recording of that. So a great place to get a solid background in Business Catalyst. So Gracie says she just finished this one, and I'd be interested to hear your feedback on it, but you can just put that in the chat if you like. Now, the next resource is Business Catalyst itself, or Adobe themselves, on the blog here. And it can be a little bit hit and miss, but they're reasonably good about putting information out on the blog here as it gets released. It's Adobe Max. Sometimes the Sandpile gets in there. App of the month, site of the month. They put release notes in here. It's not a bad place to go, but not a bad place to bookmark. Maybe even pick up the RSS feed, so that you can get that kind of information pushed. Okay, so Gracie's saying she really got a lot of mileage out of the page control. We use page control at Chicago Digital virtually on every site we build, and are finding it just fantastic. The next resource lots of people in the community use is the forums on forum.adobe.com. Some of them you have to be a member of, some of them you can just get to, but at the very least, the system status is good and the system update information is good. There's also the code development and developer forum where you can ask questions and hopefully get an answer to your question from the community. So also a great resource. And then we have the documentation. So docs.worldsecuresystems.com/support. So when you, inside the admin panel, when you go to the help menu in the top right and you click on help, it brings you to this location. And there's various places you can go. BC for Developers, the user manual, widgets, reference guide, cheat sheet. Certainly you can contact support through here. This is the method I use. And you can either submit a ticket or get an answer through chat. I most often get an answer through chat. I'd say probably 80% of the time I'm able to get what I need from just from a chat, which is really quite quick. There's also information about the latest updates here, which you tend to forget, but knowledge base articles and blog posts show up here as well. I also bookmarked this, the developers tab, so docs.worldsecuresystems.com/developers. It's kind of like the user manual. Where I tend to go most is the reference guide. And then I will pull in whether it's modules. Maybe I need to look up something for a web app, and you can look at the specific syntax, either the legacy version or the new version. Copy out what you need, get a bit of explanation, some of the tags that can be used, and some examples of how to use something. And on top of that, probably the second one of the most useful things is this little bit of liquid documentation. So as you evolve in Business Catalyst and you start to look at liquid markup, which is a great tool for getting the layouts that you're after, you'll spend a lot of time in this area looking at some of the tools and techniques that are available here with examples. Another thing to bookmark is the cheat sheet, which is a concise version of what I was just showing you here. So if you take some of this information, you got a bit of a cheat sheet here. So if I want to go to modules, web apps, and I can get most of what I need there. And if I need a bit more, I can click on read more and it takes me to the actual docs. It's another cool resource to bookmark. Then we come to the Sandpile itself. Some people forget that there's a partner search here. So if you're having trouble, maybe you can zoom in and find somebody in your area. This map's getting quite large with all the people that are here, but let's see if I can get zoomed into me here. Oops. So this little guy is me, and as I zoom in farther, I think there's a couple of us here. So maybe you didn't know that this fellow is here. So I can talk to Andrew Scott from DM Advertising, and I do talk to Andrew. I just talked to him this week, actually. So this is another resource where you can find someone maybe close to you. Andrew and I get together for coffee once in a while and swap stores, or he'll phone me if he's got a bit of a challenge. And because we met face to face, it's a little handy. And maybe I want another Canadian, so sometimes I talk to Aaron. Is he out here anymore? Where did he go? There's Brad up there. I'm not sure what happened to Aaron McDonald. He was maybe he took his listing down or changed his listing or something. But the point is, it's nice to find someone to work with, and you can filter this down. So you want to find someone who works with business owners, that's fine. If you want to find someone that just works with business partners and maybe specializes in APIs, so this will filter this list down to those people. You can hide the map and just look at them on the right. So here's a list of people that work with BC partners and specialize in APIs. So don't forget about this filter tool. You can maybe find someone who can give you a hand with your problem. Joe, it would be great to get a list of all these resources with links. Yeah, like I said, Joe, I've got a document here with those, and I'm going to put that into a PDF and attach it to the resources here. We did have a resources page on BC Sandpile, but when I kind of went through the site and cleaned it up, I discovered probably half the links in there were no longer valid, and in the end, I just turned the page off. And maybe we've got to get back to that. I don't really know, but in this case, I'm gonna give it a PDF with links to all these resources. So yeah, this partner search is a great tool for finding some help, maybe from someone in your area, or maybe just a specific specialty that you're looking for. And of course, the meetings, don't forget, you can go back whenever we finish a meeting. It takes a little while to do, but if we recorded it, I render that out and attach it as a recording here, so you can go back and watch these anytime you want. And this filtering thing works pretty good too. So if you remember that it was Greg Marcel, you can click on Greg, and here's the Sandpiles where he has been the presenter, or is there some information about him? Maybe it's a category, so maybe you wanted to talk about web forms. Again, this search is something Scott Reynolds built, which is really powerful. It basically condenses all the content and searches all the content, not just the title and the description. It's a pretty cool technique, actually. So again, and if maybe you just remember it was last summer, so you could click on July 7, 2017 and June 2017 until you find what you were looking for. But it's a great way to filter it down, rewatch the recording, and get the information you need. If there are resources, again, I'll just show you that. So if there are resources, it says download a PDF of links to the apps discussed. So last week's was about BC apps used in the production process. So there's a PDF there you can download with those links. And that is what I have for resources that are available for a new person. So let's go back to this view and chime in if you have something more. Maybe I forgot a resource that's one of the things that you like to use, and I can certainly, if you put it in the chat, I can certainly bring it forward and put it up on the screen again. And if not, I'm open to talk about whatever you want. This is the last Sandpile before next week's Christmas break. So there won't be a Sandpile next week. But listen, most of you can take my birthday off. I can almost guarantee it, because I was born on Christmas Day. So this reminds me that the Facebook group is a good resource for when you're stuck. Can you maybe put a link to that in the chat there, Urs? And I'll add it to my list here. Happy almost birthday. Yeah, thanks, Pam. Thanks, Pam. I get spoiled rotten. I think if you're born a day either side of Christmas, then it's not so good for those folks. But for me, everyone thinks I don't get I don't get treated well, so I get absolutely spoiled rotten. Yeah, that's a good tip there. Create a starter site. When we do much the same, we have a semi-custom foundation framework that we start with, and that's what we start all of our projects with. So you get to know it, and you get to be really quick with it. So it doesn't take us long to put the header in, put the footer in. It doesn't take us long to work with it because we understand it intimately. Thanks for that link. I'll put that in the resources as well. So Gracie asks, with e-commerce and custom fields, is there a way to display a search that filters by those custom fields? I'm not 100% sure on custom fields. I know anytime you want a custom search, then you're actually building a custom search. I've done that with web apps. Does anybody know if you can do that same thing with the custom 1, 2, 3, 4 in e-commerce? I don't know that answer. Pam asks, she's coming from WordPress. Are there any tips there? Not really. I was going to make a funny about forget everything you knew about WordPress because it's different in Business Catalyst. That's probably not fair, but Business Catalyst is HTML, CSS, and jQuery. There's no PHP involved. Web apps are the equivalent of your SQL database, basically. That's probably the simplest way I can put it. Oh yeah. Sorry, I've got I did have a link for the LinkedIn groups. I'm not sure why that didn't translate. So I'll just put it in here. This is the BC Cafe. I did have it in my document. I don't know why it didn't open when I opened them all. And there's another one. Oh, I don't have that one, Ursh. I will add that. So anybody have an answer then about the e-commerce custom fields? If you build a custom search, can you search those fields? I'd have to go away and research that. Slack channel's there, but I think you have to be added, and I don't think I have rights to do that. So there are some folks. I'm just looking at some of the posts there. There are some people posting on there, and certainly this Sandpile recording gets posted on there. But I don't remember if I can just add people or not. Yeah, it looks like I can. So it looks like I can add people. If you want to be added to the Slack channel, just put your email address in the chat, and I will try and do that while we're speaking here. So Pam and Gracie, let me know if those invitations show up. They'll kind of be of our test. Okay, looks like it's going through. So I've added the folks who sent it privately. All right, so no answers for that e-commerce thing. Sorry, I wish I had the answer for that. I'd have to go check it out. I just haven't I haven't fussed with that e-commerce search very much. Anything else I might have forgotten? So we picked up the Slack, so to speak, and then we have the LinkedIn, we have the Facebook. For me personally, I would put the Scott Reynolds phone number in there. I call him a lot. He calls me once in a while, but mostly I call him. And so far, he takes my call. I should probably mention Adobe Max, although that's only once a year, held in October or November, depending on the time of year. But I've been to 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 now. 4 for sure. I think I might have been to 5. And I personally find it fantastic. It's great to see folks face to face. It's a bit of money and it's a bit of travel, and I know it's real tough for the folks in Australia there to get there. That's a long fight for it. But for me, it's been a great way to up my game, as it were. I make some connections for folks that help me. That's where I first met Scott face to face, and we hit it off, and we've spent a lot of time working together since then. So. All right. Well, if we're out of information for folks getting started with Business Catalyst, perhaps it's not hard to hit it off. Scott, yeah, he's a nice fellow. Perhaps we can open the floor to whatever folks might want to talk about. So if you have a question, or if you want to grab the mic, unmute yourself and ask a question, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? You can. That was a nod. I'm just following up on that thing that's in the ABC Facebook group at the moment, which is about Stripe. I don't know if everybody's seen that, but apparently you have to now tick this really scary sounding box inside the Stripe console, which is something we need to ask our clients to do. And from what Liz says, that only is an issue if it's only not secure if it's not on a PCI compliant platform, which we are, but it's a little bit difficult to, ask clients to tick that, I think. And I'm just wondering if anyone's had any experiences with that. And also, so part B of the question is this only an issue for new Stripe installations, or do we need to get existing clients to go back and check that?
Yeah, I only just saw that myself about a half hour ago, Urs, but the what I was able to quickly read is it appears to be new setups only, existing are fine. And yeah, I guess it would be a little scary to click that if you don't really know what's going on. They have not been able to obtain from Adobe a date where they're going to have it fixed, is the other thing I read. So they say it's a priority, but beyond that, they haven't given us an answer. So. How are people finding the getting kicked out of admin? I've noticed this week so far. It's only Tuesday for me, but it's only been a couple of days. But I'm not getting kicked out as often as I was. And in fact, I was doing some work in some back work in some BC Growers templates where I had to log into like 9 of them in a row, and I had most of them open. I was not getting kicked out, so it's been better for me. Looks like it's worse for some folks. So maybe I was just lucky today. Nurse is finding the same thing. Hasn't noticed it quite so much this week. So I mean, for a while there, I was 30, 40 times a day. I would have to log into something. It was crazy. Well, Joe, you got to work on more than one site now. Just teasing, just teasing. It started to happen for me a lot when I was going into multiple sites. If I was doing a bit of support work, or when I was getting involved in fixing something on a BC Growers template where you had to go back and maybe update an older version or something. So I was into a lot of different sites, and that's when I first noticed it, and it just became worse from there. Yeah, opening the incognito is one way around it. I guess there's no real reason why you can't do that, other than I don't remember all the time. That's interesting. So cross-browser is when it happens for Peter. I use Chrome almost exclusively, and it's definitely happening a lot in there. Anybody been using Flexbox? So I've been experimenting with it. My personal experience is I use it for this on the page. I don't use it for full page layout right now. I use it for, I need to maybe vertically center this content beside a picture or something. And I've been relatively successful with that, about 99.9% positive on that. When I have tried to use it for a full page layout, I've run into difficulties. I just wonder what other folks are finding. Yeah, the XY grid for sure. We're not quite, internally it's Chicago Digital, and certainly for BC Growers, we're not quite ready for prime time on XY grid. On the BC Growers side, it's just not fair to start putting out templates in XY grid when you're going to be forcing people to learn it instead of the existing float grid that we've been using for years now. So I'm not sure when that migration will happen. I guess, Jack, largely for me, it's either businesscatalyst.com or worldsecuresystems.com, because it's typically I'm working on the build side. I'm not working on production sites. They go to production after I finish with them. So does that make a difference for you? And so I just realized again, not everybody can see the people in the recording can't see the comments. For whatever reason, it doesn't show up in the recording. So Jack asked if I log into admin through businesscatalyst.com or your-client-site.com/admin. I'll try and remember to read those out for the folks that watch the recording. And if anybody knows Zoom better than me, if they can tell me how to get that chat window so it shows up in the recording, I would appreciate that as well. At least we have the grid now, whereas before all you could ever see was me or my screen, which was pretty boring. So I'm happy that we got the grid and we got people turning their cameras on, even if Daniel leaves his on while he goes to the bathroom. See, if he was listening, I thought that would have brought him back, but. So now when he comes back, I'll have to have something for him. But it's cool to see people. I mean, short of going to Max, I don't see anybody. I'm up in Canada. Who am I going to go see? So that's one of the reasons I enjoy Max so much. I met Joe face to face there. I met Penny, and although she doesn't, she would never show her camera here for whatever reason. But that's where I met Scott face to face. That's where I met Mike and Scott Scheffler and developed a relationship with them. And eventually I ended up working for them. So it's been quite cool. So it's nice to see people's faces and put some reference to that, I guess. So Peter says he logs into each site's admin, and I'm assuming, Peter, that's live site, like yourclient.com as opposed to businesscatalyst.com. Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. So maybe this is an issue on the business catalyst side, or on the pre-release side, if you will. They've talked about it being cookies and cache and stuff. So maybe there's only so many cookies are allowed for like businesscatalyst.com or worldsecuresystems.com, where, as Peter says, when he logs into his client sites, they're all different. So maybe it's not an issue there. So other than the mini letters there, I don't know how to say that. Maybe that's short for something. I don't know. Or maybe it's long for something. Who said XY grid rocks? Is anybody else using Flexbox with whatever degree of success you might be having with it? So Peter has a question. Can you recommend a good jQuery replacement for the date picker in the web forms? Needs to prevent specific dates. I've had the best luck, Peter, myself with jQuery UI and the date picker out of there. I found it to be the most flexible and best documented. But let's see what anybody else says. Yeah, Jack's confirming he gets knocked off a lot when he's logging in through businesscatalyst.com. So I think maybe we have an answer there. So anybody else using another jQuery date picker that they're happy with? We're down. I'm going to have to sing pretty soon if no one else has something for us here. So, and we don't want that. All I can do is New York, New York by Sinatra. So, yeah. Oh no. See, he's heard me sing. Go ahead, Ursh.
All right, so here's a request that keeps coming up a bit, and I've so far got little bits of solutions, but not a total solution. And it's to do with people being able to take part payments. So say a coaching product or something like that is for $500, but the client wants to offer a payment plan so that it goes for three, they have 3 installments of whatever, and then it stops. Now, my understanding is that can't happen automatically as things stand, but it's becoming more and more of a request by clients. So I've got a few questions around that, whether it should be done using the product's e-commerce system, or whether it should be done using just a payment form. I don't know if that's a common request that other people have or not.
I do know it's a fairly common request where they like something down and then a few payments after that, or they want to say have $200 down and then $20 a month or something. And I don't have a good answer for it, but I've seen that request a fair bit. So if someone has an answer, I'd love to hear about it for sure.
I even wondered if a web app could solve, not a web app, a BC app could do something automated there, because it is a very common question.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody from CBO is on the line. They make some pretty fabulous apps. I'm just going to make a note of that.
Cool.
And we'll see. I'll get Mike to give him a call. And interesting. Maybe through the API, or to that Zapier thing, if they could connect out to another third-party app that could push a payment request, that would be kind of interesting. Pam says she sees some guitars back there. If I'm being honest, and I usually am, that's my overflow. So that's the two that I can't hang in the other room, and the other room has 8 or 9 in there. So I've had to I had to expand.
Okay, I've got another question. So I've had a few requests to create accommodation websites as a supplement or addition to websites like Airbnb and Stays. And I've researched a number of booking buttons and so on. But I wondered if someone just had a very simple one location accommodation place, and there was a fairly manual process for taking the bookings. If anyone's got any examples of that working quite well with BC, because some of that functionality, and actually not using the bookings module at all, I don't think the bookings module is the right thing, but perhaps something like web apps where people can make a request for a date, and then that date is manually put in after an approval process.
I actually, as luck would have it, Hirsch, I worked on that, one like that. It's called Hay Lake Lodge, Hay Lake Lodge, and Hay Lake Lodge, HAYLAKE Lodge, and it uses web apps. It's got there's some level of integration into the list of cabins and such. It's you can go have a look at it. It's been working fine for a couple of years now, and it's more manual than perhaps they would like, but it works.
Fantastic. Looks beautiful.
I did not build it. I just did the booking functionality for another agency.
Okay.
And hopefully she won't mind me. Hopefully she won't mind me bringing it out here, but I'm sure she won't. But
yeah, just one moment. Sorry, I've got a...
yeah. Sure. Ask the question, take a call. Yeah, Pam, you don't want to let you can't. Some people say if you have more than two guitars, you're a collector. And my guitar teacher said that's a nice way to say hoarder. But he also said, he said buy the guitar that makes you want to pick it up and play it, and that's I just happen to have more than a few that make me want to pick them up and play them. So. Peter, yes, you can have a web app feed bookings into the booking module. I've done that many times. So you can we can use the web app to kind of manage the event, and I built one site for an insurance agency where they could take up to 10 additional people, and they could pay, and then all of them got registered in the booking module. So they got the emails and stuff that went out for the event. A little bit of Ajax going on there, but they'd enter all their email addresses, and at the end, it would just go, boom, 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 and pound them all into the booking module. So it can be done. It's through the booking ID. There's a specific field you have to put on the web app form, or the form that you're using to submit the web app, and it will tie it together. I think there might even be a tutorial on that. Let me see if I can find that. What do they say? Talk amongst yourselves. So here's the tutorial I did on the multi attendee. Now these, of course, assume that you're a member of BC Academy, but if you are, you might find your answer there. Thanks, Pam. I guess she's gone already. And here's one I know of on BC Growers as well, Peter. Yeah, I don't know why, but insurance companies, like I built some. There's one form I did for them had 100 fields on it. So if someone filled out every possible field, there was 100 fields. That's who they're bringing. Are they bringing their wife? Are they playing golf? Is their wife playing golf? And it was just on and on and on. Like, who fills out 100 form fields online? I don't know. There, Daniel's finally back. We had tons of information for you there, Daniel. Too bad you had to go away there. Ursh had free stuff she was trying to give you. It was pretty amazing. Yeah, I think Mary says she would use categories instead of extra fields if she wants to filter the products. And if I remember correctly, I think we've done it through. No, you must be able to search those custom fields because we've set up keywords in like custom one, and then we're able to search for those keywords. That's the way we've done it, if I remember correctly. So, have you done filtering of custom fields or done search on custom fields, Daniel? Yeah, free stuff he's in. Yeah. So the question much earlier was, has anybody been able to build a search form where you can search the custom fields for e-commerce module? And I'm pretty sure you can, but I wasn't 100% sure. Might be faster if you've just unmuted yourself and said it, Daniel.
Hi, Dave. The only thing is that I haven't. I'm just busy doing two things at once. That's all. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Now, if I'd say I'd have to go look, but if I remember correctly, we've set up like custom one. We've called it keywords. They put the words they want to show up in search results in that field, and they get returned. So I guess from that perspective, I would say you can do it. I'd have to go validate that, but I think you can. And if you can't, then I blame who's not here. Oh, Scott Reynolds. I blame Scott Reynolds because he's not here. So for web app search, there are other fields available. What you can't search is a data source field. So you can search it if it's a list box. You can search if it's a text, just a straight text box, but you can't search data source fields. But I built lots of web app search forms that had had searched for those custom fields. Okay. We'll see you later, Joe. Thanks very much for coming in. And I'm excited by that backup program. I think that's fantastic. So. Now you see, Daniel, that's your, and you look at Ursha's picture there, that's your free hat hanging on the chair in the back. You just have to convince her to send it to you. That's what happens when you go away from the screen for a while. We make decisions like this. All right, well, we're about 5 minutes early, but if there's nothing else, I'm just I'm going to call it. It's coming up on the Christmas season here for us. Well, for everybody, I guess. I guess for us here. So I will wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and I hope a safe and prosperous time into the new year. And we will see you at the first Sandpile of 2018. Remember, there is no Sandpile next week. Oh, one last call from Sean. He's looking for a few partners to test some upcoming BC apps he's developing. Send him your email if you're interested in getting early access and other benefits. Sean, did you put your email address in the chat there? Do that before I turn off the recording. Thanks, Urs. Merry Christmas to you as well. Thanks, Daniel. We'll talk to you in the new year, I'm sure. Bye, Urs. I'm gonna pack it up here now.